If you're into crypto right now, watch this video all the way till the end because I'm going to tell you guys exactly what's going on with the prices of Bitcoin and XRP, exactly what we're doing to make the maximum amount of profit out of this, and of course, some things in the crypto and TradFi space that are going on that could make us change our minds or hopefully make us more money or lose us money if we're not careful. A little reminder though is that you're always going to get manipulated if you listen to the mainstream media, so pay close attention to the details of these things, and of course, as always, do your own due diligence and make sure you press the like button on this video. Let's dive in. First of all, crypto market in neutral territory, or so you'd think. Over on Twitter, people are panicking because Bitcoin is breaking down. You can see we're at $25,500, around 0.6% down over the hour. XRP is slightly below 50 cents, Ethereum at 1,622. There's a lot of panic over the last couple of hours. Yeah, it's like 1 hour really, with some of the outliers being XLM being down even 4%. But please listen to what I've got to say. First of all, and I've shown you this more often, I trust in the cycle. And this might come as a surprise for a lot of you guys that watch my channel only for XRP content, but I personally believe that Bitcoin decides the XRP price. I know, it's not what a lot of people want to hear, but I believe it's the truth. Even though many altcoins are inherently way better built than Bitcoin is, because Bitcoin, the way it's built, is pretty garbage. It's just the truth. Bitcoin does set the standard for where these things are going, and I believe in the cycle with the idea of Bitcoin goes down 80% and then recovers, goes into a new bull market just before the halving, then gets a new all-time high, falls back down 80%, gets into a new bull market just before the halving, then about a third into the halving reaches a new all-time high, comes back down 80% and repeats that same pattern. Right now, again, it's fallen 80% down, and I expect the bull market started right there around December of 2022. And even though we may see some hiccups along the way, I do still believe in the cycle and the idea that we're not going to fall too much below this trend line that's last for about a decade now. It's lasted since 2013, and I don't think it's going to stop, at least not right now. It doesn't seem to look like it. And to basically back up that claim, take a look at my Twitter. Hopefully you guys will understand it a little bit better then, if I can give you guys a proper look here. You can find basically that if we take a look at the psychology of a market cycle, that a lot of the price action that we're seeing right now is action that you see at the start of a massive new run-up. Specifically, this little downside that we're seeing right here, it's not too crazy to see that before we see a massive pull upwards. And again, if we're taking a look at XRP over on the daily, or even at Bitcoin over on the daily, two things become quite apparent. You'll first of all see a lot of red, right? That's actually because on the short term, we have decided to break down. And I'll back this up. What you're also seeing is a little yellow line. All I've tried to do here with this little yellow line is indicate to you guys what the price action has really been looking like if you extrapolate a little bit. If you zoom out a little bit, what you'll find is that from November here of 2022, that Bitcoin has actually, in reality, been on an uptrend. Even though on the short term things may be looking negative, it's actually looked like that very often throughout its little time span here of the last, let's call it 9-10 months or so. That very often we have seen some downwards price action, right? Time and time again, about every couple of months, we see some downwards price action, and it's also gone down significant bunches with 25% down right here, and even here going down almost 20%. You understand my drift here. Here going down roughly 20% yet again. But every single time thus far, it's actually made a higher low and a higher high right afterwards. And that's again what the yellow line is for, to showcase to you guys that we had our base point, right? Our lowest point. Started a little, I guess in this case here, started the uptrend because we broke our previous high, then built ourselves a new low. From this point on forward, since we broke the high and actually got ourselves a higher low, I consider this to be an uptrend. We continued on though with a new higher point that was made right there, with a new lower point made right afterwards, and then again slightly afterwards, a new high point being made before again on the short term reaching a new lower point. And that's where the crux of this whole story comes in. Depending on how the price moves right now, we might be seeing ourselves a new lower low. And that would be crucial. That would not be too good. The price action that we're waiting for is really on the short term. You can see on the short term, it looks actually as if we are going downwards. And depending on where we end the next couple of days, we could get lower than some of the prices we've seen in June of 2023. But the moment that we do that, this supposed bull run doesn't necessarily hold as strong as before. And even though right now I still believe in the cycle, and even on XRP, if you really zoom out, things are still looking beautiful. It is starting to become a really thin line for the short term to get a little bit more bearish. Am I still bullish? Absolutely so. And for XRP, I still believe that even if we were to cross this line, we'd most likely see some action as we saw here in March of 2023, where we'd see some slight action below the trend line before breaking out above it not too much longer from now. And why I decided to make a video about this right now is because of two specific things. I should put one finger on both hands. That is the interest rate and the inflation rate numbers, which are coming out in about a week from now. Very often, guys, these things do make the crypto market act a little bit wavy, especially because actually the interest rate is coming out in 2 weeks. The inflation numbers are coming out in 1 week exactly, because Jerome Powell just now said that he expects inflation to actually get a little bit worse. And so they're going to have to take a look at the interest rate and play around with it because it's still not combating the inflation properly enough. Indeed, year-over-year inflation has actually started to ramp back up again. Even though we hit a low point at 3%, last month it was 3.2. Right now, it's looking to actually go towards 3.4. And so they might have to rake up the interest rate or hike up the interest rate even more, which would be suboptimal for traditional markets. For the crypto market, though, that could actually be a positive thing. It just depends on exactly how crazy those numbers are going to look. But at least there's going to be some volatility where, again, Bitcoin could potentially break this little trend, as even in this very short amount of time here, within like a day or so, Bitcoin lost like 15%, where it went from like $29,000 to roughly $25,000 in a very short amount of time. Right now, we're basically finding a base. And like I was saying, on the short term, it looks as if we're going down ever so slightly. On the longer term, we still have a confirmed uptrend though. But that could all break dependent on where the price gets to over the next couple of days. And again, all of that I'm saying because I just want to warn you guys that the general cycle I still think is the same. I still think, generally speaking here, the direction is upwards. And I'm not afraid. And that's one of the reasons I can look at you while making these videos and say, guys, I am extremely bullish. Not because the shortest of shortest terms might not or let me say it like this. Even though the shortest of shortest terms might actually have some negative price action, overall, over the next couple of months, over the next year and a half, I think the direction is upwards. And so if we play this game properly, there's so much money to be made, mostly with long positions, as I'm not looking to go short anywhere here. I'm mostly looking to open very juicy long positions. And right now, for example, if we actually do manage to bounce from the levels that we're seeing right now, that could be an extremely juicy long position because we're reaching a nice, not too high of a new low, but a nice higher low point. And if we again show some signs of recovering from here, that again is not going to be shut down by SEC action, because this right here over on Bitcoin might have also been a day where some news happened in the SEC Bitcoin ETF stuff. I believe this was the moment where Grayscale won their lawsuit. I'm not so sure anymore though. But yeah, that does actually already show that this is a very good buying area, because previously it did act as some resistance, as you can see over in February of this year. Afterwards, there's been a significant amount of price action within this area. And so if we do manage to bounce ever so slightly, might want to actually stack up and increase my long position from here, as I'm expecting further upside. But hey, that's just it for right now. Wanted to give you guys an update. I think the inflation numbers coming out next week could actually make a significant dent in the prices, potentially change the trend around on the short term on its own. But generally speaking, I'm extremely bullish, and the only thing I'm watching here is for potentially either a double bottom or for this bottom to be broken, changing the trend around. But yeah, pay close attention to that, and that's about it for this video. Make sure you put the notification bell on for further updates, and most likely later today, I'll get you guys another crypto news update. This is just about my trades and about what I think is going on.